Right, it's getting to that time of year where wood turners start thinking of Christmas, and the obvious one to do is snowmen. What I'm going to do here is impulse buy snowmen. Like with all the impulse buy stuff, it's quick. Well, it's as quick as I can do them anyway. Somebody can probably do them quicker. But the whole thing, the definition of an impulse buy something is, in my opinion, is something somebody did not deliberately go out to buy. And I would say 98% of the people who come to me for snowmen didn't deliberately go out to buy a snowman. I do get people coming up going, my friend bought this snowman off you, do you have them? Right? But this is why I categorise snowmen as an impulse buy item. And as with all the other impulse buy items, you do them as quick as you can so that you can sell them at a price. Right? In the lathe there is a block of beech 4x4 by about 9 inches. Right, so first thing we're going to do is round this off. Right, I'll be putting the lightweight mask on for this because of the way I hold the tool. The chippings come straight up in my face when I'm rounding off, so I might sound a bit funny. Right, okay, let's start it off. I like to turn these around about 1700. Right, so we start rounding off. Now, when I'm rounding off, I know you can see the gouge doing this, right? I am not doing that with my arms, right? The butt of the gouge is in my hip, there, right? It's like that. The hand is there, and I'm moving my hips like this. That's how I'm getting that movement, right? I'm not doing it with my arms. While I was editing the video, I noticed that you couldn't actually see in the camera what I was doing when I was describing how I was moving when roughing out. Right, now, what I was saying was, what you could see was that, right? I am not doing that, right? That part is buried in there in my hip. My other hand is there, and my hand is like that. And what I'm actually doing is rocking from one foot to another like that, right? So that's what I'm doing. Right? So I hope that makes it a bit clearer, because as I said, during everything I found out you couldn't see. So there you go. No, still a flat. Yeah, that's round. Okay. Now, something I always do when I'm rounding off something like this is I stop the lathe and I'll check it to see if there's a hidden crack anywhere, because it does happen that there's hidden cracks in them sometimes, and it's best to err on the side of caution. Right. Next thing I'm going to do is just flatten off both ends. Right. And while I'm doing that, it would help the channel out a lot if you would click the subscribe button, which is there, I think. And if you'd like and share the video and drop a comment, it never hurts. make a tenon, because this is going to be going into a chuck. Right, now I'll grab my modified skew, which is there, right? And I'm going to make sure that the shoulder here is perfectly square, so I'll be running the edge of this right along here and using this to cut the angle for the chuck. Right, and that's set up in my chuck now. Now, if you're batching these out, right, get them all to this stage, right? It saves you having to change the setup of the lathe, which will save you time. Right. Right. Now I'll just change this to the chuck now. Right. Now, when you're moving from between centers to a chuck, the easiest way of doing it is tighten that so it's just holding it, right? Bring your tail stack back up. Right. Lock it down, then tighten this. It guarantees that it's going to be spinning the same way and you won't be off center. Right. A little bit. See, still spinning perfectly. Now, as I said, you're doing impulse buy, so speed is the key. A scratch plate, right? Makes things very quick, right? Down here is a small little base. I put a small little base on my snowman. This is the bottom snowball. That's the middle snowball. That's the top snowball. It's his head. That's the rim around the cap, the hat. And this top section is the hat. That top one doesn't really need to be there because I try and make it so that there's no two hats the same. I don't like making the snowmen the same. It gives people a choice. Some turners get obsessed with snowmen having top hats. They don't have to have top hats. I do top hats. I do the spaghetti western Clint Eastwood type flat top cowboy hat. I do bowler hats, and I do beanies. And that kind of choice really makes people like them. Right, so back on. Right, I'm lining the bottom one up, right, for the base. Right, with the next one, and I'm not too worried about the top one. Okay. Right. Then I will get a parting tool and I'll define them even more. Right, the top one I'm not too worried about, but that one I want. Right, you can actually help yourself here by going in as deep as you can with the parting tool. Right, without it binding. Right. Head. Second one. Base. Now what you want to do is you want to strip this down. So make it easy on yourself. Give yourself a few cuts. Right, I find the easiest way of doing this is with a skew and just peel it off. Same with every part, just bring it down to roughly the size you want. Right, that hat is way too wide, so we'll go again. head down. Now the way I like to do them is, this one is the biggest, this one's next in size, and the head is the smallest. And grab your parting tool and go down further. Now that you're not going to catch because you have more room. You're down to about the size you want. Now what you're looking at here is you have middle, middle, middle. Don't be obsessed with getting these into perfect balls or perfect spheres. They don't have to be. Right? They don't have to be perfect spheres. It's very rare you'll see an actual snowman that's a perfect sphere. Right? Normally they're like a rugby ball. Kind of shape. As you're cutting, you can define your size and shape to more of what you're looking for. His head's still a bit flat. I'll give him a foot there. That should bring you up to there. Right, start the next one. Let's shape a bit more. There's more of a head shape on them. Put the bumps out. Right, finish off this one. Right, move to the next one. Now I just say, right, you might have spotted it there and there, but I still have the straight line just in there from the parting tool. You can't get it unless both sides are down. If you try and get it while that side is still flat there, while this side here is still flat, you're going to get a catch. So have patience to get that shape, and this last cut I'll go in there and I'll take that out. See? And that's where you get your nice clean curve. That's where you get your nice shape in there. Right? So on that last cut, right, you get your nice shape in there. Same there. right? Now, this guy's got a fine tall hat, so we leave this guy with a fine tall hat, right? Let's get a finished cut onto it. Right. What I'll do is at the end of this video, I'll put up a picture of what the kids call the Snowman Army, which is a load of these done, and you'll see all the different kind of hats. Okay. Right. Now what you want to do is sand it. Right. So I'll sand this and I'll be back then, because this extractor is kind of loud. Right, now it's sanded. Right, now something I don't do is I don't put a finish on my snowman. Couple of reasons. Number one, impulse buy items. Putting a decent finish on it adds about half an hour per snowman. And number two, people actually like to decorate these things, especially kids. Right, what I will do though is I'll sand it out at 320 and I'll burnish the body with its own shavings. Right, I will not burnish the hat. Right, I'll just burnish the body. Right. Now that that's done, I want to start getting rid of the base. As I said, I like to leave a little base. Now what I will do is, you see where that curve is? I'll start the base right on the tip of that curve, because it makes the snowman really look like he's standing on whatever he is, whereas if you put a base on him that's that thick, he looks like he's raised. Grand for a bowl, not for a snowman. You want him to look like he's standing where you put him. Right. Right, and I'm undercutting slightly. Now I'm going to stop there. Most of that's done. Right, so there he is, sanded and the body burnished. The hat is not burnished. The last thing you have to do is finish off the top of that hat. Right, so remove your tailstock. Right, and this is the only time you have to do something like this without tailstock support. Right. Now you could actually do this before you do that. It's just up to yourself. Sometimes I remember to do it, sometimes I don't. That's it. And all you want to do is get rid of the mark from the tailstock. Right. And sand it. 120. I normally start sanding at 120. Although, if I have to go to 80, I will. That only took a tiny little bit of sanding thing. Is a kudos thing more than anything else. You do what you have to do. Right. You got to start at 80, and you start at 80. It's that simple. Especially for new turners, will think that they, because they have to touch 80 grit, oh, I'm a terrible turner. No, you're not. You just started sanding at 80. Right. Now, slow the light down. Right. I don't want to change belts because it'll take too much time, so I'll slow it down to as slow as I can get it. Right. And what I have is black enamel paint. Right. I have black enamel paint, a small paintbrush, and a plastic bag. Right. As I said, this is easier if you do it while the light is turning, because all you got to do is literally hold the paintbrush in place. Right. Don't forget the rim of the hat. paint the hat. You guys use a slightly bigger brush if you wanted to make it even quicker. And as I was saying about hats, they don't all have to be the same. Neither do the snowmen. I make fat ones, I make skinny ones, I make tall ones, I make short ones. You have to give people choice. Because what you like in a snowman, somebody else may not. So give them the choice. Right. I think this guy's a Lord Mayor. That looks like a Lord Mayor snowman hat to me. Right. And there's a hat painted. Now, plastic bag. Put your brush, don't wipe your brush off or anything. Still wet, put it into the plastic bag and wrap it up in the plastic bag. If you're batching these out, right, and you happen to leave the brush out between them, by the time you've got 10 snowmen done, your brush will be useless. So just wrap it up in a plastic bag and that'll keep it basically fresh. And don't forget to close your paint, because you'll knock it over. And don't ask me how I know that one. Right, so we have that. Right, paint's back out of the way. Right. Now remember, do not grab this guy by the hat. Right. Just finish parting them off. Right, and there you have the start of your snowman. Now, if you're batching these out, get them all to this stage. Right, don't try and finish them. Get them all to this, get a load of them to this stage. Right, and then you can start on the noses. Right, but I'll go straight to the noses for the video. Right, so I have to change over the lathe again, so I'll be back when I've done that. Noses, get a piece of scrap, stick it in some jars, and turn it down so it's small, right? And what I like to use is a carbide. It's very quick to do them, because all you're doing is making a cone. Right, make it a little longer than the length of the carbide. Right. Curve it a little bit because carrots ain't straight. Get yourself an orange marker, a dark orange marker if you can. Lower your speed down so you don't burn your marker out, and colour your nose. You know, give it a couple of coats, because carrots ain't exactly bright orange. Right. Then get a normal parting tool, right, and you want to cut yourself a little tenon just on this end, right. Cut away some of the orange because it gives you a clean line. Right, you have your tiny little tenon, right. Then get a whatever small little blade saw you have, right, and just cut it off, right, and there's your little carrot nose. Now, as you have them in the chuck, right, just make loads of them, right? Just literally make loads of them. There's no need to unchuck this and everything else, so as it's in there, just finish it off.
Right, and get yourself a little box and throw your snowman noses into it. So you had this in the chuck, so why waste the time unchucking it? Right, there you go, another snowman nose. You do a little box of snowman noses. Right, now all you got to do is finish your snowman. Right, you're going to need a drill with a small little bit in it. Right, pick whatever face is the best. Right, there's a bit of spalting there, so that looks okay. Right, smack in the centre of his face. Drill a hole. Right. Pick a nose. Now I don't mean pick your nose, I just mean pick a nose. See if it fits. It doesn't. Right, so widen out the hole a little bit. Right. When you're churning these out, you get into kind of a rhythm. And you will actually turn these things the same size every time. Right, okay, and his nose fits. Right, now get yourself a bradawl and mark his eyes with the bradawl. Right. Just to give yourself a rough idea of where his eyes are going. Right. Yeah, he's close enough. Right, and give yourself his button marks. Right. Now, take his nose off. Don't glue his nose in yet, okay? The reason you don't want to glue his nose in yet is because you're about to hit that with a hammer, and you don't want to break his nose. Now for eyes, I have pins that are domed and black. Right, so in it goes. And I made myself this little hammer a couple of years ago, just for tapping them in. So that it doesn't damage them. There's your snowman's eyes. Little piece of ribbon for a scarf. Right. So when you're batching these out, cut a load of this ribbon to the right size. Right, so about there. Right, so just get yourself some sort of ribbon. This one just happens to have snowflakes on it. I think I got this on eBay. Right. So give your snowman his scarf. Right. Where it crosses over, put another pin. It's this top button, and it also holds his scarf on. Then there's two other buttons. Dropped it. I'll get that one in a minute. So I usually do this inside on the kitchen table. But I don't have cameras in the kitchen table, so I'm doing it here. There we go. There's his buttons in. Okay. Then a little drop of CA on his nose. Right. I would use the medium CA to hold his nose. Now, if you're doing loads of these, get some CA, squirt it out onto a piece of paper, and you just dip the noses in them. Right. CA, his nose in place. And there is your impulse buy snowman. Ready to go. And as I said, these try and make them all different. Right. You'll see in the picture at the end of the snowman army that there's basically not two of them that are exactly the same. People like choice. Right. Now there's another bit coming now in the video where somebody asked me a question about the kiln and could they see it. So there's going to be like a minute and a half, 2 minutes about the kiln. Right, and first things first, sorry about the video being in portrait mode. It's the only way I can fit the kiln in. I don't have much room here. Right, the kiln it's an old fridge. There's a load of videos on the internet on how to make them. Right, and when I made it, I just followed one of them. I got the fridge for free. The setup cost on one of these is minimal. The only thing I really had to buy was the light fixture and the bulb, because I had the wire and everything else. Right, I said it's an old fridge. There was a shelf in between the freezer part and the fridge part, and I just cut it out on the inside. Right, now I'm only going to open this for a minute because there are bowls inside of it, and I don't want the humidity to drop. The whole trick with these is to keep the humidity high. There's a lot of people I've seen who have put dehumidifiers and stuff in, and they constantly complain about their balls cracking and everything else. The reason that their balls are cracking is that they're dropping the humidity too quickly. Now, I deliberately do that sometimes. I'll deliberately crack a bowl sometimes. I did it on the Spanish bowl, where I'll put it in here on its own and dry it out pretty quickly so that the cracks form on the side and I can fill them and highlight them. I do it on wood that's the grain is kind of plain on, just to add highlights. Right. There's one in here at the moment that I've been doing that to. You'll see it when I open it. It's on this shelf here. It's a holly bowl, which is pretty quiet. It's plain. Right, okay, right, I'll open this now and have a quick look. Right, now, you'll see there's bowls in here, right? Down there is the exterior light fitting. There's a 100 watt bulb in it, right? Beside it here is a thing of water. That's to keep the humidity up. The kiln isn't full at the moment, for the simple fact the size of the bowls that are in there won't let me. There's the one I was telling you about that I have the cracks working in. If you're getting one of these, make sure you don't get the one with glass shelves. You need the slotted shelves because you need the air circulation in there. Right, I'm going to close this now to keep the humidity up. Right, there's some vent holes up here and there's some vent holes down below, right? I have big ones and small ones. The big ones are the main air circulation, and for the last couple of days I'll close off the two top big ones, but I still want air circulation in it, so I have the small ones for that. You can see here the amount of moisture that actually comes out of these things, right? You do not want to put this inside your workshop because the moisture will rust everything. My workshop is there. This is outside, right? Make the top vents closable, right? So mine close with these, right? That's when you want to, at the end of it, when you want to drive the temperature right up to really dry them out, right? But at the moment, I've only been in there a few days, so I don't want them drying out too quickly. As I said, it's a very basic yoke, right? And the heat from the light bulb will do it, right? The heat causes like a turbulence inside of it, right? The cold air comes in at the bottom,
and the hot air and the moisture comes out at the top. Like if I put my hand there, I can feel the heat. It really is that simple. So I hope that has helped you out, Seth, on doing them. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll see you in the next one.